Hi Kiwi, alright, we are back at another episode of Hades 1, and today we are going to be taking the aspect of Poseidon on the sword. We're going to be running, I think, about 16 heat? Yeah, 16 heat. Let's go ahead and drop down one level of jury summons, take off damage control, and there we go. That's exactly what we need. I'm going to take the Palm Blossom, and we're just going to see what the fates decide we take for our cast boon, as since we're running the aspect of Poseidon, the way that works is our special dislodges any bloodstones from enemies, and it enhances all cast damage by 50%. Going with Athena, okay.
May wisdom and good fortune guide you toward the light of day this time, cousin.
And of course we don't see her cast, which I was going to try and take, because we never really run Phalanx Shot, so I'll use one reroll and see what we get here.
For me?
Alright, we do get the lowest here, but still the cast nonetheless. So I think the best way to probably build run this build is let's go for Mirage Shot with Poseidon and Artemis duo, and then Zeus for the Athena duo.
It pleases me that you are here again, for through you I can tinker with reality along the fringes that are not yet fully formed.
Sounds like fun. Can we have an additional cast stone or cast damage? Well, 46% more damage sounds great on our cast specifically, although we will be taking 34% more damage for the next 4 encounters, which will be a bit rough. But yeah, I think the gods we're going to aim for, and we'll see if the fates permit it, mind you. We'll go for Zeus. Zeus is #1 priority because we want to have him enhance our cast, and the Zeus-Athena duo is pretty strong, all things considered. I imagine. I don't think I've ever actually had it, but the idea of Phalanx Shot just having more damage and the ability to bounce between enemies instead of just exploding on contact sounds like it could be potentially very strong. But of course, Artemis is always a great god to have in pretty much any build you take, but especially a cast-focused build where your goal is to have as many cast stones as possible, which her legendary can grant you. Crit chance enhances damage for everything. And then on top of that, she has exit wounds, which synergizes extremely well with the Poseidon sword, as it causes enemies to take additional damage whenever a cast stone is dislodged from them. So all in all, a very good reason to take her. And if we can get Poseidon as our final god, then we can potentially get Mirage Shot as a duo boon between Artemis and Poseidon. Now, I will say we have taken a pretty, not an insignificant amount of damage in the very first couple rooms. I don't have a very good excuse for why that has happened, other than I am just... It is 1 a.m., or oh goodness, it is 2 a.m. actually. I thought it was 1 a.m. Not that that made it much better, all things considered, but I might have had a very long day, and I'm trying to unwind with Hades in the fashion that I am typically prone to doing so with. That was a coherent sentence, if ever there was one. I think I'm going to sit on the coin. I'll take the HP just because I took too much damage, I think. But we'll sit on the Yarn of Ariadne because, frankly, the main source of our damage at this point is going to be this cast boon. And I think better off saving my coin for potential shops that'll show up later on, so we can hopefully stack as much Zeus as possible.
A curse of chaos has
Mid-shop.
inspired.
We are going a cast-focused build. There is minimal to be gained from... there's very little to be gained from taking a hammer. So we go for the mid shop. I would actually consider fighting Charon here if it weren't for the fact that we are being given a very good, appealing looking Zeus room, and I don't know for certain that fighting Charon here would guarantee us to still have that room at the end of the day. So for now, I think I'm going to focus on taking what's guaranteed to me. Fortunately, it is fairly hard to reflect projectiles with Phalanx Shot, unless they are coming from a fair distance away while I'm launching oh my goodness, the shot from a distance as well. We'll drop Boldy here because I think I can probably hit at least 2 of them. Well, one is better than none, I suppose, and we're back to full HP if nothing else. That's one done. So what's going on in real life? Well, we have made another meat sauce, and that has been quite delicious. We ate that for dinner.
You tell your good Lord Father that his brother Zeus shall be always watching over you.
We made more bread, which is kind of our bread and butter. Well, that's a pun if there ever was one. Let me confirm that we can get the duo from Zeus and Athena by taking Zeus's call. Let's see. It is, what is it called? Lightning Phalanx. Strike, Flourish, Dash, or Aid. So yeah, pretty much all of his core boons, except for his cast, of course. So we'll... I think... These are both tempting for different reasons. I think I'll take Zeus's Aid because of... Between Poseidon and Artemis, I think Zeus has the better call overall. Yeah, we'll lock in that core boon slot with him. And now we can potentially get Lightning Phalanx. Hopefully we see another Athena or Zeus as soon as possible. More Zeus as a whole is always welcome, just because, of course, any build that requires Zeus boons is going to scale extremely well once you get more Zeus on board. I don't actually know if he can offer Chain Lightning for Lightning Phalanx. That would be interesting to know. You could probably look at it in the Codex and find out. Maybe I will look that up when I'm done with this room, potentially. I do appreciate that it seems like Lightning Phalanx... I had misjudged Phalanx shot a little bit. I had thought it was just a kind of a single target cast. But it does have a little bit of AoE when it makes contact. It kind of has a small explosion radius.
Good enough to eat.
We'll keep palming the cast for now because that damage will scale pretty well. In terms of diminishing returns, all boons suffer from them, but the cast seem to have the least in terms of diminishing returns, especially fixed damage, meaning non-percentage based casts.
Oh, young man, you hurt somebody's feelings.
We'll deal with it. Alright, high voltage increases the AoE of our lightning bolt effects. Alternatively, God Gauge charges up faster when we deal or take damage. I think both of these are reasonable. I'm not gonna reroll here because we can't get duos. And I think high voltage sets us up for Zeus's legendary, which is always welcome on any Zeus build as well. High voltage, yeah. So why don't we take the high voltage here just so that we're set up for getting his legendary potentially.
You'd choose one of my relatives instead of me, though I myself was first to contact you. Alas, I must respond to you in kind.
That is a fair response, I suppose.
Damned either way, I guess.
But the thing about Athena's trials is hers are objectively some of the least threatening because they, at least in Tartarus, because you have a lot of room to evade enemies, and all her trial does is make enemies invulnerable to damage for a brief period of time, and that's assuming they're not moving too fast to even be hit by them. On the other hand, I am in a bad situation because not only do they have Athena's boon, they have a damage control spamming shield effect, and that makes it a lot harder to DPS them, especially when they have armor and I can't stagger them. Okay, this is really unideal. I need my cast stones back ASAP. Try and pop this when it's low. Okay, good. The fewer that there are, the easier it will be to pop their damage control shields, I suppose. Oh, goodness, Kiwi, I have been hard countered here. This is not ideal, and it's going to waste a lot of time for tight deadline. Try and get what damage I can. I'm slowly whittling away their HP, but because I cannot stagger them, it makes them extra scary.
I can't.
And it also means I can't use Aspect of Poseidon to easily pop the gems out of them because they're projected by their... It will pop it out if they have only the damage control shield, but if they're hit by Athena's effect, then I can't.
I see no benefit to staying angry, cousin. I promised Nyx that I would help rather than hinder you.
Well, that was an unfortunate combination of things that just made it a lot more difficult to deal with. We'll gladly take Blinding Flash here because that will make us deal more backstab damage when or more backstab damage, sure, but more importantly, it puts a curse on anything.
Come forth, wretches, and stop this meddler.
Puts a curse on anything hit by our special, or sorry, our cast rather, which means we will very reliably be able to get status privilege as soon as we get any sort of jolted, or as soon as we get jolted and the duo for Poseidon, or any attack that can lay a curse. That said, the gods that we're planning on going down won't really make it that easy to do. Poseidon needs at least a tier 2 boon to have his curse applied, and then in the case of Artemis, we need Hunter's Mark, which isn't terribly reliable. We're going to take the Chaos Gate here and hope for more cast damage. Cast damage or cast stones, either would be great.
In the name of Hades.
Also saves us a little time. Let's see. Cast deals an additional 35% damage. Chamber previews are hidden for 5 chambers, though. That's kind of rough, especially because we don't want to lock ourselves into gods that don't fit our build. I unfortunately do think I'm going to reroll once here for the sake of maybe getting something better.
What else we
got? Oh, here we are. Oh, it's the same. It's the exact same one. 5 chambers of blocked previews for 35% cast damage. I guess I will take this. You will, let's see. Yeah. For the next 3 encounters, face 76% more foes, but have a 17% chance of increased rarity on boons.
It shall be so.
Hammer or shop? I think we take the shop. If it's offering a mystery boon, we'll ignore it. If it's offering Zeus or Athena, we'll take it. Or Artemis. Okay, so that's 3 of the 4 gods we wanted. Awesome.
Pay for that.
And we get exit wounds right away. I could... yeah, you know what? Exit wounds makes a lot of sense here because I don't really want her set up for duos just yet. We want Poseidon's duo with her for Mirage Shop, but that's about the extent of it. And we'll buy the Hermes here too. Why not? You know what? Quick reload sounds pretty nice. Foes drop their... Actually, I guess quick reload's kind of useless for us since we can force them to drop our cast stones at our bloodstones at any point. I guess the question is, what is the legendary that we could get? It would be... I believe it is... Yes, it is greater recall, so my bloodstones automatically return to me. That seems kind of not that appealing, so I don't think we'll actually go that route. So then I think it is hyper sprint here because that can potentially set us up for rush delivery and all the damage that gives. Well said, Captain Charon. On to the Erinyes.
Good. Hey, Redblood. I've done a lot of thinking, and I've come to the conclusion that I want you never to speak to me again. Ever. Got that?
Sounds good enough to me. You seem kind of mean.
I don't know how to respond to what you said without directly disobeying your request, Electo, but for future reference, fine. I'll bite.
You'll die. There's no use standing here flapping our gums when we could cut to killing one another right away. Come on.
I guess that just means we're going to have single line dialogue for most of our other encounters with her at this point. But as you can see, we have between exit wounds and phalanx shots base damage with 4 levels of palm on that, we can pretty quickly wipe her out. Just try and get my 3 hits in, tap her with the special. I will say there is one potential...
How dare you?
There is one potential hammer that we could benefit from, and that is the one that increases the AoE of our special. Because with larger AoE on the special, it'll make it easier to dislodge our cast gems from a safer distance.
She's tough. Blood.
But if nothing else, I feel like our single target damage is pretty solid right now. Alright. Do I stick with the Palm Blossom, or do I go for a Poseidon keepsake to force Poseidon, or a Zeus keepsake to force Zeus? I mean, let's see. I think at this point, I don't know if Blinding Flash can be hit by the Palm, but I think it probably can. Exit Wounds definitely can. High Voltage, I think, can as well. So, you know what? We got the levels that we needed on the Palm. I'll go ahead and force Zeus first, because objectively speaking, he's kind of the core of our build at this point. So let's go ahead and take him. And then... I think we'll leave it at that. Let's save our coin, because we'll... once again, we'll need to buy as much as we can from the shops, especially if Zeus or Athena show up to potentially get their duos. I'll take Poseidon's keepsake in Elysium to try and get Mirage Shot potential. Or Poseidon will just show up, because all three of the other gods we wanted for this build happened to show up conveniently. Would be cool if they all, like, just saved me the issue of hunting them down with keepsakes. But you never know. You never know what you're going to get on a Hades run. That is for sure. But I've been honestly wanting to run a Lightning Phalanx build for a long time, because I don't think I've ever really put that boon to full potential, and I'd like to see how it plays. So this is I have never been granted a better chance than right now. The game just kind of felt my vibes and wanted to feed into it, which I appreciate, because kind of in a similar mindset to the last episode, I'm just in a mood for a filthy casual sort of run right now. I don't need anything special. I just want to have a slightly new and fun experience, and that's not hard to acquire, thankfully. Just solid game design all around. I don't think I would posit Hades as my all-time favorite game, honestly, but it is definitely right now probably the game I am playing the most and having the most fun and looking the most forward to playing when I do. All right, question of the day, Kiwi: do we get rush delivery? Admittedly, Hypersprint is a little bit hard to use with our build to get the full benefit of rush delivery. I do not think I picked up my cast stone, and I threw it off into a corner behind a wall, so I will never see it again until it naturally comes back to me, which is going to take some time. So that's a little bit unfortunate. It's fine though. It is fine. Thankfully, Exit Wounds does a lot of damage, 100 per hit, which is a fair bit of damage. Granted, our cast, each cast itself is doing 419 right now. Would love to see some crit chance from pressure points from Artemis. The duo between Artemis and Athena may potentially be good here too. The one that I think it makes our cast inherit all of the back attack effects. So I'm not opposed to seeing a duo with Artemis, but we'd need one of her core boons to even make that happen. At this point though, I guess the really important question is what boons would I take from Poseidon and Artemis to lock in for potential duos as it is. And unfortunately we are completely out of casts. Where did my cast stone go? There they are. They are two-shotting most enemies, which is kind of nice. The issue is, overall the DPS is not inspiring, mostly because the enemies are spread out and it's hard. Oh, I finally remembered to use an ambrosia.
This is
Excellent.
for you, Lord Hermes. It says, this offering is dedicated to the incomparable god of swiftness, from whom the news is always good because he's bringing it. You are a real mate, you know that? I really owe you one, Zagreus.
That's a cute way to get the final dialogue going.
Look, cuz, I'm going to accept this choice ambrosia from you one last time, all right? But from this point, I'm doubling down on all professional responsibilities here. Strictly business between us. Although, secretly, you're one of my best mates. Want you to know.
That's sweet. There it is. Bond forged.
So my professional associate, the fearsome boatman on the river Styx, you got to know him pretty well in all of this, right, cuz? Hard getting through to him, I know, but his heart's in the right place. It's why I'm working with him after all this time.
And I think that means we have officially done Bond Forged with all potential allies. We'll take Rush Delivery because it's always free damage, even if it's not going to be used all the time.
Here, fishies.
Good to know you can't go fishing while standing on the lava, but that would have been funny if you could. I've never actually tried to do that before, so it's cool to know. There's our fish.
Slavug.
Cute little Slavug. All right, on to the next chamber, and let's see where we're at. We're making decent time, and there's another Zeus. Excellent. Okay, so we're looking for double strike, which actually I guess doesn't really matter for this build specifically. What we're really looking for is his duo and his legendary. Potentially chain lightning if that even works. I guess I'll toss in a reroll here for the sake of potentially getting their duo, and then we'll take whatever we get otherwise.
No thanks.
No such luck. But we will take static discharge because that will be very good once we do get the duo. Unfortunately, we are getting forced into Demeter as our final god, therefore no Mirage Shot on this build, but we don't, strictly speaking, need it terribly.
That's a problem.
I'm going to try and get these guys to drop on each other. I might be too far out of range to... Okay, good. It at least hit the annoying statue. I should look up what this guy's name is so I can refer to him appropriately in the future, because I always forget and don't know how to refer to this enemy. I know it's Mega Gorgon and, I don't know, Stone Golem Head.
You must visit us sometime up here, grandson. I understand the surface hasn't been agreeable with you. But perhaps if not in this age, then the next we shall have you over. It's brisk up here, but nice enough, I think.
I suspect there will come a time where Zagreus can visit upstairs. I'd like to hope. Alright, so... Mistral Dash would make it very easy to apply status privilege until we get the good stuff from Zeus. Get the right build from Zeus. Alternatively, what do we want from Artemis? I don't want Artemis's dash, so that's probably the main thing I think about. Athena's dash is always good because it's protection. Zeus's dash is damage, I guess, but it's not that much damage. Not really using the attack. You know what? I'll take Mistral Dash because it'll help me slow enemies down. I'm mostly going to be dashing and then attacking.
All right.
We've seen 3 Chaos Gates this run. Not bad. Hopefully we get some more, another chance at upping our cast, though.
In the name of Hades.
And Dash Strike, cast, and attack. Okay, so cast, 35% more damage. We encountered 75% more foes for 4 encounters. That's a lot easier to manage than having our previews blocked for 5 chambers, where that could really hurt the run if we're unlucky. Unfortunately, we still lost the gamble and did not get to choose Poseidon as our 4th and final god. But it is what it is. Honestly, as long as we get Lightning Phalanx, I'm not going to complain too much about what we actually wind up with on this run. That said, it is pretty rough to aim against enemies that are moving so quickly. I understand why they made these enemies able to jump around. It's so that if you can't find them, they'll come to you, and I very much appreciate that, because it's often the case that I cannot find them. But it also means that sometimes they decide to jump in the worst possible time, and it wastes a shot. Like that, for example.
Back.
But each phalanx shot is doing a solid 526 damage, and we don't even have the enhanced damage from the Chaos Boon that we're about to roll. So, you know, I think we've got a pretty solid amount of damage. I do think I was briefly on a tangent about how I think Athena and Artemis have a duo that enhances back attack damage on the cast, or rather your cast gets all back attack benefits from your other boons, which I still really don't understand what that means. But if there were ever a build where that could potentially be decent for us, because we are running a build that applies exposed so reliably, wow, what a field goal on that one. I am just having singular enemies spawn in one at a time. This is actually kind of painful. Why is this room so long? Oh my god, they don't stop spawning him. I almost feel like I'm doing something wrong. I know I'm not. But one shot, one kill, I suppose. Okay, one shot, probably more like one shot, half a kill, because I'm prone to missing so badly. Alright, there's still one enemy somewhere on this map, apparently, but we've whittled down most of them. Okay, apparently there's more than one. Oh, wow, this was like the slowest Asphodel chamber. Oh my god, there's still more. Oh, you know why? It's because we have it's the Chaos Curse. 76% more enemies on a, 2 levels of jury summons is rough. Wow. This is gonna make Asphodel dangerously slow, like tight deadline concerningly slow. But better here than Asphodel. Or sorry, Elysium. Elysium would be rough. These enemies aren't hard to kill. They're just slow to spawn. Like, there's rarely a situation where I wish I saw, or I wish I took Forced Overtime, but if there were ever an instance, it's right now. Forced Overtime makes enemies spawn in faster, and I could really do with some faster spawns. This is legitimately painful, because these enemies die in one hit, so they're really not a threat. They just take forever, and there were so many. Oh my goodness.
From Chaos has a new
All right.
effect.
Cool, we got our boon to pop. This is the end shop. That should be the end of Elysium. Or sorry, Asphodel. I'm getting those mixed up somehow. We'll take the shop for the potential for another Zeus boon, another Athena boon, either of which can give us their duo, their legendaries. Even Artemis's legendary would be cool here at this point. But of course, crunchy old Winter Lady shows up instead, uninvited and unwanted, and completely and totally ignored as a result. Bye, crunchy old Winter Lady. See you never. You were not wanted to begin with. I'm salty.
What's the matter, Lerny? You seem quite upset.
Maybe he's upset at how I just treated our grandmother. Or how we're about to treat him with our current build. Yeah, we've got very decent single target damage, if nothing else. And on the bright side, now I can because I have Mistral Dash, I can at least temporarily or very reliably apply status privilege, which gives us a nice little damage up on top of everything else that we wanted. Nope. Dodged that, thankfully, but stood in the lava a bit too long there. Where are my cast stones? My cast stones seem to be missing. Okay, Lerny apparently did have them, but I wasn't seeing it show up as him holding them over his HP bar. Weird. Maybe it doesn't show up. You know what? I'm probably... You know why? It's because I was looking at the wrong HP bar. I'm looking at the big bar on the top of the screen, and I should have been looking at the little one over his head. Although, admittedly, he doesn't really have one over his head, so how was I supposed to know whether he has his cast gems or not? Like, okay, no, I was right. It does show up over his HP bar on the top. Why did I think it didn't? But it did. It didn't show up, right? Like in that instance when I was waiting for them to pop out, but when he was in between his phases, it wasn't showing up. I seem to not really be remembering that I have Zeus's call. I'm prone to forgetting that I have calls, honestly, unless they are like the core of my build, which is rare.
Maybe I should switch.
All right, let's go ahead and force... I mean, I want to see Artemis for her legendary, but we still haven't gotten the Zeus-Athena duo, so I think I can force Athena here. Rather than forcing a 5th god, I think it's better that we just keep what we've got and try to get the build that we're aiming for in the first place. Prometheus Stone would be pretty fancy, but it's only going to last for a couple rooms, and realistically speaking, that's not enough to really make it shine here. If I could see it get all the way to Hades, like if we were offered it later on in the run, or we get to Styx and I just take the Chthonic Hourglass, the one that extends all shop purchases by 10.
Much nicer climate.
By 10 encounters, that I would take. then I would take it. All right, so let's see. There's our Athena right away, so we'll go ahead and just pop her. Say hello. Oh, good. Lots of chariots and not a lot of good AoE options for damage. Gonna love this. Going to enjoy this very thoroughly. At least I have Mistral Dash to kind of slow them down enough that I can dodge away and let them kill themselves by bashing into walls. Mistral Dash, they seem to, when their armor breaks, which they don't have much armor because their HP pool is fairly low, it does seem like they fairly quickly just get kind of stunned out of their charge, or knocked out of their charge, so it's not going through. Thankfully, so I have enough time to kind of kill them before they start attacking at me again. That said, if the Void Stones cast their little defense shields,
Goddess Athena.
I'm gonna still have a bad time. There we go. Lightning Phalanx. Your Phalanx shot cast bounces between 3 nearby foes. Excellent. Stubborn Roots has no use for me, and I'm going to completely ignore that it was offered. I think in this instance... Oh, hey, what's this got? Gems. We're making good time. Let's go ahead and take this.
That was ill-advised.
We just went on a little shopping spree in the last episode, and now we need to make up for lost resources, I suppose. Would have loved to see at least one of our Chaos Boons grant us more...
I'm empty.
What's it called? More cast stones. But I think this is the part where we just try and get as many Artemis Boons as possible. Oh, man, these Void Stones are making things miserable for us. Alright, Void Stones are dead.
Die.
Who has all my cast stones? I would like them back, please. This is not as strong as I would hope. I think the Void Stones made it very difficult, though, in my defense.
I shall deal with you later, then.
I don't really get to choose what targets they bounce, the stones bounce, the cast bounces to. Let's go ahead and take our first hammer here. Like I said, I think it's called Supernova, maybe. We'll enhance the AoE on our cast, and that'll make it a little bit more reliable. Okay, enemies that don't have invulnerability shields are much more manageable now, and honestly, there's the DPS I was looking for. Those Void Stones just really denied us any fun we could potentially hope to gain. And oh my goodness, projectile-based enemies are going to have an awful time against this build now because it's just going to be constantly bouncing back and forth. I don't have to worry about timing it appropriately, because that's the biggest. That's the hardest part about using Phalanx Shot effectively for its secondary effect of reflecting projectiles, because I mean it gets picked up by the enemy as soon as it hits them, so you have to kind of meet their projectile in the middle with it if you want to have it do its reflecting effect. Let's see, Flurry Shot, there it is. Supernova, your special hits a wider area and deals an additional 20 damage. I really don't care about the damage, I just care about the AoE. So here, I actually am going to take the Braid of Atlas. Your cast deals 50% more damage for 6 encounters, because that should, one, last us through the heroes. It only costs 20 coin. And then we're getting another trial, which can potentially give us the Zeus Legendary that we are really, really hurting for at this point. I won't complain about Double Strike, but
not yet.
We'll see what we get.
How very kind of you.
Maybe I should have... Oh, there it is. Splitting Bolt. Whenever you strike your foes with lightning boons, fire an electric bolt. That's another 40 damage on top of everything else we're doing. That also applies jolted status to enemies.
I thought we were on better terms, cousin. I ask only for your cooperation, yet still you turn your back.
That should give us a nice little boost in damage.
Athena.
Unfortunately, as likely demonstrated by... Ooh, as likely demonstrated by that little stipend of Void Stones causing a ton of struggle for us in that earlier fight, we are going to be in a similar situation of Athena now spamming invulnerability on these enemies and protecting them from most of our damage, I imagine. On the bright side, at least they are the projectile spamming sort that I can block a lot of the damage of by spamming my my cast. That said, it is actually kind of hard to kill them because we got the Revenant splitting kind of enemy who drops 3 fake Revenants on top of the actual one I need to kill, and because of that, they're a lot harder to deal with. Because if I... Okay, cool, I pushed him out of Athena's trial effect there. Thankfully, they do seem to like to separate out, so as long as I'm paying attention, I can probably get away with this after all. Oh, but oh no. Yeah, so here's the thing. Athena protects those revenants, and I can't easily hit them with my cast if they're all specced up together like that. So they get to respawn, unfortunately. I'm gonna drop a Sisyphus here because I need some HP. At least I'm able to spam reflects so that they're less likely to hit me. But every time they split into all these revenants, it's really hard to clear them. I'm just gonna take these while I'm here, and I think we got it from here. I'm gonna bail out so I don't get hit by anything. I see which one is the fake, but I can't really hit them.
He's fully recovered.
That one I hit, and I should have knocked it out. I don't know why it still got that through. But we're definitely wasting more time than I would like, but I think we've got more than enough time, especially when we get to Styx, where our damage should...
A curse of chaos has...
We've better things to do, I think, than fight amongst ourselves over a matter such as this.
It should wipe out enemies pretty quickly in Styx. Alright, Divine Flourish or Divine Strike? I think I take the special, because the AoE Reflect is quite nice. Well, that'll give us an extra layer of defense. And here's another Athena room, so we can potentially... actually, what do I want from Athena at this point other than, I guess, defensives?
I had a feeling you would cross my path again. I've been looking forward to this.
We definitely don't take Artemis... we definitely don't take Athena's attack because we want Artemis's attack. But look at that, 2,275 damage for landing 3 casts. And thankfully, the Chaos Boon that was making so many enemies spawn has finally run its course. But, you know, it's a good thing we didn't have maxed out Jury Summons, because that would have been extremely rough to deal with. I am very much appreciating the size increase on Supernova there. Made that a lot easier to tag him without getting hit. Alright, give us our Athena boon, please.
In the name of Hades.
We have got Bronze Skin for 10 damage. Oh, you know what? Here, Brilliant Riposte. When you deflect, it deals more damage by 116% increased. That synergizes well enough with our build because we have a lot of potentials for a lot of options for reflect. That is a very lucky palm chamber. Now, do I take the 12 extra base damage on the cast or the 40 base damage on exit wounds? I think this equates to actually like a whole 120 damage when we have 3 cast stones in one enemy, so I think I'll take that. And then Patroclus. Patroclus is cool and all, but there's really not much to be gained. I'm not using my attack, I don't need Death Defiances, and I don't need healing, so we'll take Demeter here. There isn't much I expect to gain from her, but I still think she offers us more overall. The only reason that I really should have maybe considered Patroclus more heavily was to save time, but we've still got 9 minutes on tight deadline, and we're not running Extreme Measures 4, so I don't think I have to be terribly concerned about clearing this as quick as possible. But I am very much appreciative of having taken that cast damage up. It is helping us a lot right now. Typical fashion, chariots are the bane of my existence. But our damage is making up for that more than well enough. You know, chill, what is it? Arctic Chill or something? The one that makes us do chill effect whenever we cast, that would be pretty solid for us. But I suppose I'll take Ravenous Will for now, because that'll give us 10% more damage and 10% damage reduction while we're dodging around waiting for our cast gems to be able to pick them up. Prometheus Stone would be pretty fun, but here's the instance where, yeah, I would cheese the heroes pretty fast, but I wouldn't make it to anywhere past them. So hammer or coin? Honestly, I think I take the coin here so I can afford better things in the shops, because I got the one hammer boon that I really wanted, and with that out of the way, there isn't too much more to be gained, frankly. I do not appreciate the slow acceleration that the Phalanx shot has. It makes it fairly hard to reliably hit enemies sometimes. Especially if they have any... I imagine this build would not be terribly good with Forced Overtime in play. Thankfully, it is not in play, which makes this way more tenable. Did I use that word appropriately? I don't know. I don't fully... Sometimes I speak above my belt, or above my pay grade, maybe is the way to phrase it. Look, it doesn't hurt to practice with new words, I suppose, but sometimes my lexicon is wasted. And there's also the instance where I try to say words and they come out completely wrong too. Pronunciation or just actual vocalization. That gets, Kiwi is well aware that gets particularly bad when I am tired or hungry. The amount of nonsense that I spew from my face is, I don't know if I'd say inspiring, but sometimes I feel like that's the most appropriate descriptor. Looks like we're getting our hammer anyway, so I'm glad I didn't take it in the previous room. Well, I really don't have to worry too much about projectiles at this point. The only thing that can make us even safer for projectiles, I think, would be Demeter and Dionysus' duo, which obviously we're not even close to being in line for. But it's the one that I think slows all projectiles by 50%, if I'm remembering correctly. I know that duo is somewhere. I don't know if it's specifically Demeter and Dionysus, but it feels appropriate if it is. Demeter being the slowing down kind of gal that she is, and Dionysus with just the aesthetic of making things drunk. I know it's at least in part Dionysus' duo. I just forget the other god. I'm pretty sure it's Demeter though. I think at the end of the day, my opinion on Lightning Phalanx is, well, it was a fun build and it does feel strong, but I also think it has some very palpable shortcomings. Oh my goodness, I walked into that and did not need to. Here, we'll drop Zeus's call so that I kill those shielders more easily. I think the biggest weakness is, unless Chain Lightning affects Lightning Phalanx, the Zeus boon that makes your cast and your attack bounce more times. Let's see, Double Nova, Hoarding Slash. No, I don't think we'll take that. Yeah, I think we'll just take Double Nova. That should be fine. Makes it more likely that we hit the special. We'll take the shop here and see if we can land ourselves another Zeus or Athena, or more importantly, Artemis at this point. Athena, do I really need to take an Athena boon though? I think I just buy the HP and move on to the fight. Did we already talk to you? We did. Okay. We've got 6 minutes on the clock, more than enough time to melt these heroes.
He returns.
That he does.
Come forth, blackguard, and be vanquished by my righteous spear.
Says the man holding a Gatling gun against me. All right, they're both holding one cast stone, so I have to try and knock those out.
Stand your ground, Hellspawn, and I shall run you down or run you through.
We're gonna just bail out because Asterius is doing his spinning move. Fortunately, well, thankfully he stopped doing that pretty quickly. I did get clipped by that. Wow, that was just bad timing on my part. I don't really have an excuse other than that was just a misplay on my part.
This thing is falling apart.
I will say it is nice to not be running a run with hard labor, because I am taking overall a fairly reduced amount of damage from what I'm used to. This should finish the bull, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. We
defeated? You and me.
We actually do a pretty serious amount of damage, all things considered.
You too had a chariot, so I could conquer you in racing, all right, just as in battle.
Watch us melt this
Why, you
big mouth. And go.
Olympus, please avenge my chariot.
And there we go.
Damn you.
Avenge me. Bam. Yeah. Okay, our damage feels good. Bye, Theseus.
The good stuff.
All right, my good Shade.
Thank you for your support, my Shade.
I feel like they make Zagreus' final comment here very short so that you don't accidentally miss like overlap dialogue that cancels itself out. So you always say hello to your good Shade. All right, so what is our final keepsake for the last floor? I suppose, honestly, Bone Hourglass gives us the most to gain, because if we get a cast damage or a cast stone boosting well perk, we're gonna be pretty well off, if you'll forgive the pun. I'll take the HP here, keep myself topped off. Nothing here that I want to sell. On to the next floor. All right.
One last stop.
One last stop indeed.
Cheers.
All right. Do we get ourselves any coin pots while we're here? I thought I saw a sparkle there, so yep, there was one. There's one. All right, a nice little bonus stipend, but hardly enough to afford a Titan Blood if we're offered it. We've been seeing nothing but diamonds lately. I wonder if I've reached the point where I've gotten all the Titan Blood I can buy here, if that is even a thing. I feel like I've bought all the things that I could want to afford with diamonds too. All right, so one last chance for Zeus to give us something fun. But we actually have most of what we want. We got his legendary, we got his duo with with Athena. So I think let's go for Artemis first and take her legendary if it's offered. And otherwise we'll take her attack.
I'm empty.
Because with her attack, we can then get Lightning Rod, which will be a nice little additional bit of damage on top of everything that we have. Every time our cast gem pops out, it'll drop some lightning bolts. We don't have double strike, so it won't be as powerful as it could be, but it'll still be pretty strong. At the end of the day, we got Zeus's legendary, which is enough, frankly, for all of our lightning wants. Lightning Phalanx and Splitting Bolt are about all we really needed, let's be honest. And of course, Static Discharge for the benefit of having our Jolted status effect and a reliable means in which to get status privilege going. That 40% damage bonus is always worth taking if you can get it. If there were ever a room that I appreciate having a projectile that reflects other projectiles, it is these rooms with the satyrs. I would arguably say they are far from my least favorite enemy. That still goes hands down to chariots of both types, and secondarily on forced overtime, perhaps, or not forced overtime, but really high heat, the witches in Tartarus, especially the ones that split into multiple.
Well, Zagreus, you getting out of there this time, or am I going to have to keep on hunting by myself for the time being? Probably.
I think you know the answer to that, Artemis, sadly. We did have dinner together after all. Alright, so, I mean, pressure points would be pretty nice for the crit chance on our cast, but we're, like I said, we're gonna try and roll for what is it called, Lightning Rod, if we can get it. We are at 618 coin. We'll go ahead and take the Zeus room next. We'll save Demeter for last. I like that I can just sit here and watch these things bounce and wipe things out very easily. Yeah, we've got some pretty solid damage. Sadly, no Wells of Charon showing up yet. We'll inevitably RNG ourselves into at least one, I'd like to think. Or I'm going to completely ignore it, we'll have it, and then I just won't ever touch it. Which would be the saddest, but most realistic outcome of the situation, just knowing my propensity for not being observant until after the fact. Like, oh hey, did you see that thing that I just passed as I went into a door out of speedrunning habit? It is what it is, though. I think at the end of the day, we've got our build. We got what we came for, and we don't need much more.
Not yet.
More just makes it more fun, you know? And can't complain about more fun, can I?
Can't do that.
Did I have my cast gems outside of the poison? Thank you. There you go. You can have them back now. Cool. All right. Do we see 2-chamber sticks, or do we get the... We do not get a 2-chamber sticks, which is more than fine for me, because honestly, it lets me farm up some more coin and potentially get that diamond. Although again, I posit the question of I'm not sure if I actually need more diamonds at this point. I've gotten a fair number of them. Wait for that poison cloud to... Oh, well, I still got poison somehow. How are you still alive, of all things? Probably do not want to sit close to the spinning blade trap spawners, because those do a heck of a lot of damage. That said, it's very easy to deflect them, but if I don't deflect them, I'm going to get hit pretty badly. I'm also getting unlucky spawn locations. The enemies could choose to spawn in a location where they can very easily get clipped by those fans, and I don't know if that is deliberate by just spawn design location or not. But either way, they're not spawning where they're going to get hit by those at all. All right, Clouded Judgment, Double Strike, Lightning Reflexes. I mean, Double Strike is decent here. It only benefits the call, though, at this point. So I think I have 2 rerolls. Let's reroll once and see if we get anything fancier.
What else?
Lightning Rod, there it is. All right, let's take it.
Let's go, team.
A little bit of extra damage. Now our cast gems, when on the ground, will periodically pulse lightning bolts and deal more damage that way. That synergizes well with Double Strike, but we can't really benefit from Double Strike if we don't have a reliable means of applying it.
You're mine.
Alright, so we need to do at least one more chamber.
Satyr tunnels.
I could take the coin, and that could potentially bump us up to 1,000 to afford the diamond, or I take the Demeter room for the... whatever she offers us. We can't get her duo with... Can we get her duo with Zeus? Actually, yeah, we could. It makes Jolted never wear off. That would be pretty fancy. Okay, you know what? I like the idea of that. Her duo with Artemis, her duo with Athena is absolutely whatever. Stubborn Roots is kind of just lackluster, especially considering that I still have all 3 of my Death Defiances. It's not likely that I will get Stubborn Roots to apply Kiwi. For reference, Stubborn Roots is the Demeter and Athena duo that when you are down to, when you have no Death Defiances left, you regenerate 1 HP every like 0.4 sec. Oh, it's an underwhelming rate. I don't remember the exact rate, but it's underwhelming. Honestly, I think I probably just reroll here for something. Let's buy Fateful Twist. Let's see what that gives us.
What do I get?
We got, oh, special does more damage. Cool, that's completely useless. Reroll.
I'd like to see more options.
Next boon has increased rarity. Well, we're gonna see an increased rarity Demeter boon no matter what, so let's go ahead and double up and see if we can get maybe a heroic. Actually, I guess it doesn't matter because we were gonna go for her duo after all. Oh well. What are we getting?
Oh, what is this stuff?
Stubborn Roots. Well, Snowburst is decent, I suppose. Whenever you cast, damage foes around you and inflict chill. Yeah, that'll work well for our build. We'll take it.
Bit of an aftertaste.
You want to see that on Haribo when you're doing speedruns, so it's pretty decent here. Let's go ahead and take the Artemis boon here.
I'll take it.
Hunter's Mark, Support Fire, or Clean Kill. We'll take Hunter's Mark. 54% chance to crit is always welcome. And then HP or more Demeter. More Demeter it is. Rare crop on the last chamber, of course. I think let's go ahead and take Arctic Blast. 80 damage for applying 10 stacks of chill. Yeah, it removes the slow debuff, but it's a nice little extra bit of damage.
The fearsome Cerberus accepts the satyr sack.
I can go.
Cerberus vanquished. You did this. I love that little epitaph to that statement. It's so funny to me. You did this. You vanquished Cerberus. You did this to him. You monster.
Father.
Father.
Let us see if the support you're getting from Olympus amounts to anything of use.
Oh, trust me, your eyes are gonna pop out of your head a little bit when you see our damage on the cast here, my friend. Observe.
Darkness.
Okay, no. Oh, he cheesed us. He cheesed us so hard. Oh, that's so rude. I can't pick them up because they are outside of my range. So we are down to, I have no casts. They're just all, oh, he's holding one. I can take one back from him. Dad, that is so extraordinarily rude of you. How could you do that? Actually, you know what? I guess I still have Lightning Rod, so if you kind of wander over this way, Dad, at least you can take some Lightning Rod damage, maybe? That is so rude. At least they did make it so they eventually come back to you after a timer. I appreciate that a lot. Of course, he's going to be spawning the low HP sort of enemies that kind of actually counter our build. Maybe not that much at all. That didn't seem to have countered me at all. Okay. But, ooh-wee. If nothing else, our damage on this is pretty solid. Watch his HP here.
Not now.
And then Eggs and Wounds to finish him off. We're going to kill this chariot as soon as possible because you know my opinion on chariots. Worst enemy in the game for me to deal with on most cases. There are definitely some scarier enemies overall, I might argue. But for me, they are the enemy that I struggle against the most consistently. Too fast, too quick, if you will. Can I have these back, Dad? Thanks. Alright, we've got Greater Call. Let's watch our DPS here. Ready?
Enough.
Baldy?
Why, Master Hades, sir? Leave that one out of this. Enough of you.
Look at that damage. That's half of phase 2 done. We're just gonna stand on Dad here and let Lightning Rod do the damage, and then 3, 2, 1, and done. That was a really strong, like, single target damage wise, we were really strong.
Were it not for all my wretched kin upon Olympus,
You're not goading me into a boonless run. I'm not in the mood tonight, Hades. Nice try. I'm going filthy casual right now, and I am more than happy to. He's very disappointed that he couldn't talk me into being anything less than a filthy casual. All right, let's see.
Very sore right now.
As much as these hammers made it easier, they were not the things that carried the run. Obviously, we did Lightning Phalanx, Lightning Rod. A shame we didn't see Artemis's legendary, but Splitting Bolt and the cast itself, I think, make most sense here. So let's put these in order. Legendary and then Lightning Phalanx. Or Rush delivery is also kind of nice, just because you never get there's never a bad time to take rush delivery. Let's be honest. But I think we take lightning rod. Just looks fancier on the cover. I think so we'll do lightning rod and phalanx shot level 5. We had a lot of damage on this run. It's not a fast run by any means, but a pretty clean run. 61 win streak going strong.
Blood.
Any fish? Nope. All right, let's do our house roundup and call it a night.
Mere moments from his final victory, the prince, in his great haste, ignored surveying each side of a rather busy crossing, where a swiftly passing chariot collided with him very forcefully.
The comedic timing of that narration is not lost upon me. I spent a good portion of that fight saying chariots are my least favorite enemy, and how does Zagreus get his untimely demise? A chariot.
Welcome to the House of Hades. Glory and death.
Sometimes RNG is just the most spiteful entity in existence.
Don't tarry longer than you need to, lad.
But that is...
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you, Dad.
Our security efforts in Asphodel are evidently lacking.
I don't know. I would argue that that whole little room in Asphodel where I was just fighting one enemy after one after another was probably the most convincing reason for me to end my run early. That was so painful.
The ever-faithful Cerberus remains resting steadfastly in his spot.
And as such, he gets pets for being a good boy. Jinx. You owe Cerberus more pets. Alright, let's go say hi to Orpheus.
Thank you for checking up on me, my friend, although I'm quite alright.
Oh good, we should be able to get more dialogue with Nyx, in theory, about that whole thing she's doing with Dusa. An awesome 500 coin, or
some darkness.
500 darkness for...
What's for breakfast?
For 1 ambrosia? I will make that deal every time.
Bearing aquatic beasts.
There's never an instance when we aren't hurting for more darkness, it seems.
The prison sphere in the corner is maybe a little much, but the fireplace, the bat cage, the aquarium. His lounge is practically comfortable. Lord Hades would strongly disapprove.
Not he would, as he made very clear.
He never sets foot in here then, huh? Wait, you don't miss when things were all sad and dreary in here, do you?
I'm still getting used to it. But no.
Good.
I'm glad Meg approves of our decorations. Dusa might have something to say about it too. If not, she's got a lot of surfaces extra to clean.
What happened with Dusa, Nyx? You really fired her because she talked to me. She was my friend.
She was removed for insubordination and repeated overextension and lack of proper judgment, child. Your affinity for her is the reason her removal was as amicable as it was.
Insubordination and repeated lack of what? She worked harder than anyone here to keep the house neat and orderly. I'd thought you would have valued that.
Her eagerness to please was to a fault. Perhaps your Olympian relatives require sacrifices, child, but this house requires efficiency and nothing more.
I think Dusa proved time and time again that she is, if nothing else, efficient.
Efficiency. You know who you sound like right now, don't you, Nyx? I can't believe this.
If you are bent on undermining my authority, go do so someplace else.
Ooh, she's mad. This is such a weird plot line for me, I swear. I don't know if it really feels out of character, but it kind of does, and it's really disappointing to see Nyx treat Dusa this way. It really is. Oh well. More on that later, I suppose. We'll see more. Let's see. Okay, we are finally having another gauntlet run. Now, the question is, do I do another dash-only run because I've been really enjoying those runs? Or do I do a standard run? Because I've been kind of craving just a punch all the things with Zeus Spoon sort of build. I don't know. I'll figure that out when I decide to play next.
You want to fight me, boyo? Well, hop to it, stat.
All right, if you say so, Skelly. Well, with all that said, Kiwi, I hope you've enjoyed watching, and if you're awake, I hope this is helping you fall asleep. If you're sleeping, I hope you're sleeping well. I love you, and I will...
Nothing there, sorry.
I love you, and I will see you in the next one.
Farewell, boyo.